Good Friday, everyone. Welcome to Conversations Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, we made it to the end of another week. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up on this Friday. We have a message from my book, Word That Choose to Live By. And in today's Entertainment Spotlight, you'll be hearing part of my conversation with actress and author Holly Robinson Peete, discussing her amazing year and the brand new children's book she wrote with her son RJ called Charlie Makes a Splash. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Friday headlines. In national news, Griner and Whalen families to meet Biden amid U.S.-Russia talks. President Joe Biden plans to meet at the White House today with family members of Brittany Griner and Michigan corporate security executive Paul Whalen, both of whom remain jailed in Russia, the White House announced on Thursday. He wanted to let them know that they remain front of mind and that his team is working on this every day on making sure that Brittany and Paul return home safely, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said at Thursday's press briefing at the White House. The separate meetings are to be the first in-person encounter between Biden and the families and are taking place amid sustained but so far unsuccessful efforts by the administration to secure the Americans' release. The administration said in July they had made a substantial proposal to get them home, but despite plans for the White House meetings, there's no sign a breakthrough is imminent. While I would love to say that the purpose of this meeting is to inform the families that the Russians have accepted our offer and we are bringing their loved ones home, that is not what we're seeing in these negotiations at this time, Jean-Pierre said on Thursday. She added, the Russians should accept our offer. The Russians should accept our offer today. Griner has been in Russia since February on drug-related charges. She was sentenced last month to 9 years in prison after pleading guilty and has appealed the punishment. Whalen is serving a 16-year sentence on espionage-related charges that he and his family say are false. The U.S. government regards both as wrongfully detained, placing their cases with the office of its top hostage negotiator. Secretary of State Antony Blinken took the unusual step of announcing 2 months ago that the administration had made a substantial proposal to Russia. Since then, U.S. officials have continued to press that offer in hopes of getting serious negotiations underway and have been following up through the same channel that produced an April prisoner swap that brought Marine veteran Trevor Reed home from Russia. In more national news, Biden approval rises sharply ahead of midterms, says new poll. President Joe Biden's popularity improved substantially from his lowest point this summer, but concerns about his handling of the economy persist, according to a new poll from the Associated Press NORC Center for Public Affairs Research. Support for Biden recovered from a low of 36% in July to 45%, driven in large part by a rebound in support from Democrats just 2 months before the November midterm elections. During a few bleak summer months when gasoline prices peaked and lawmakers appeared deadlocked, the Democrats faced the possibility of blowout losses against Republicans. Their outlook appears better after notching a string of legislative successes that left more Americans ready to judge the Democratic president on his preferred terms. Don't compare me to the almighty. Compare me to the alternative, he said. The president's approval rating remains underwater, with 53% of U.S. adults disapproving of him, and the economy continues to be a weakness for Biden. Just 38% approve of his economic leadership as the country faces stubbornly high inflation and Republicans try to make household finances the axis of the upcoming vote. Still, the poll suggests Biden and his fellow Democrats are gaining momentum right as generating voter enthusiasm and turnout takes precedence. In more national news, tentative labor deal averts threat of nationwide rail strike. Rail companies and their workers reached a tentative agreement Thursday to avert a nationwide strike that could have shut down the nation's freight trains and devastated the economy less than 2 months before the midterm elections. President Joe Biden announced the deal, which emerged from a marathon 20-hour negotiating session at the Labor Department and came just 1 day before the threatened walkout. This agreement is validation of what I've always believed. Unions and management can work together for the benefit of everyone, Biden said in the White House Rose Garden on Thursday. The deal, which includes a 24% pay raise, will go to union members for a vote after a cooling-off period of several weeks. In more national news, Governor of Mississippi says Mississippi's capital water is again safe to drink. After nearly 2 months of being forced to boil their water before drinking it or using it to brush their teeth, people in Mississippi's largest city were told on Thursday that water from the tap is safe to consume, but Jackson's water system still needs big repairs that the mayor says the cash-strapped city cannot afford on its own. Governor Tate Reeves and Jackson officials said in a separate announcement that the state health department lifted a boil water notice that had been in place nearly 7 weeks in the city of 150,000. And finally, in business news, stocks fall, indexes slip deeper into the red for the week. Stocks gave up more ground on Thursday, leaving major indexes on Wall Street deeper in the red for the week. The S&P 500 fell 1.1% after another wobbly day of trading. The benchmark index is now down 4.1% for the week, following the biggest pullout for the market in more than 2 years on Tuesday. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's on time for a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. Enjoy. Good Friday, everyone. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Words I Choose to Live By. Stop being a spectator. Get in the game. You have been blessed with something special. It's time to show the world what you're made of. So let's get to it. Have an amazing Friday and enjoy your weekend. Holly Robinson Peete is featuring today's Entertainment Spotlight. We're here on Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with Entertainment Spotlight. Actress, author Holly Robinson Peete joined me on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about the amazing year that she's having, as well as her new children's book, Charlie Makes a Splash. Here's a bit of our conversation.
A lot has been going on with you this year, Holly, including the new book out this month, Charlie Makes a Splash. So appropriate you mentioned. I remember seeing that picture with Magic Johnson and LeVar Burton. Of course, everyone connects LeVar with reading. Talk to us about, though, what it's been like for you in this series, Holly, to not only be able to entertain readers, but also to educate them when it comes to autism. What has this experience been like for you?
Oh, the experience has been great. Charlie Makes a Splash is a companion piece to another title we did called My Brother Charlie 12 years ago, co-authored by me and my daughter. And this time it's co-authored by her twin brother, RJ, who is really sort of the alter ego for Charlie, the character in this book. It's been great because I just remember when we got the diagnosis. The year was 2000. There really weren't very many people advocating or talking about autism. There was very little awareness. And I would have loved to have had a book that I could not only read or share with RJ's class about what autism was. It takes some of the stigma off of autism, normalizes, neurodiversity and differences in people. And then in the back of the book, one of the main things I wanted to do was not just write a beautiful story with these gorgeous illustrations, but a resource guide, tools for families dealing with this diagnosis, understanding what this is. Because when we got our diagnosis, I was looking for that Welcome to Autism handbook, and it was not there. So that feels great to be able to provide not just a sweet story about compassion, but also a guide to help.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning into this edition of Conversations Daily News. But back again on Monday with more news, message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By, and of course, Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today, and let's go make it a great one.